and family is your people. Step up and realize that, or you won't have one.
Go to bed. Everything's okay.
No, it's not okay, girls. It's not okay. Look what he's done to his family.
I know exactly who Dad is. I always have. It's my father.
I know I'm supposed to be the good little girl. Have respect. Live by the rules in this world that I did not choose.
I'm your father.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Jeff in Las Vegas. Good morning.
Oh, fantastic.
I was going to say, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so the mob is something I'm all too familiar with. I grew up across the street from Oscar Goodman, the mob lawyer, for Tony Spilaccio. That was in Casino, the movie Casino.
Wow.
We have the Mob Museum downtown. I'm Sicilian, so I couldn't wait.
Wow.
I could not wait to watch this movie. So first
That's
of all,
awesome.
thanks for destroying the genre. I mean, this is just finally something different, a different perspective. So you did it. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So the women behind the LaRusso mafia family, one of the daughters doesn't want that life, does she? What kind of life does Rose want to lead?
I think she just, her own choices. I grew up around seeing families like this, and some of the girlfriends that I was friends with, there's not a choice. There are no choices. You're born into a family like this. You're never getting out of a family like this. So I don't even know if she necessarily knows, but she just knows that she had no option. And that's really what the movie's about, having a choice in a world that tells you you don't have any.
And of course, this is what we call in Hollywood through the female gaze, a new POV for the genre. When did that idea hit you?
As a young girl watching these young women, I always wanted to tell stories. I didn't know exactly what that meant. I didn't have, people to look up to as far as female directors back then, or if there were, I didn't know them. And it was something that stayed with me, seeing the violence and the rage from these young women. And then when I got out into the world and into the business and being told who and what I was in every different way, I realized that anger that they had was some of my own, and it was because of being pushed into a slot I didn't agree with. And so this was something, and then, years of being Italian and seeing these mafia movies, which we all love, but never seeing a correct depiction of the women, never. Even with Camilla Soprano, and beautifully done by Edie Falco, and, Lorraine Baracco, and amazing, but not from their perspective, so I think it was time.
And not also as the director, the star, and also the producer, but you're the writer of the film as well. Did the 1980s give you a setting that gave you more of a freedom to write for these characters?
100%, because back where I was from, that was the heyday. That was the heyday. It was the 80s, 90s, that mafia. I mean, it ruled Staten Island. People like, oh, you make it current. It's like, it's a completely different world. So it had to, but it was the great, it was just the perfect time for these young women, because you always take from your own life. So I feel like Rose and Connie were pieces of me. So yeah, that's the time I came up in.
I was going to say, as the producer and director of the movie, I can only imagine that casting must have been one of the most exciting parts of this. He wrote all these incredible characters, and just filling those characters. Was it just a good time casting this movie?
It was a good time when I had them. When I didn't have them, that was painful, because you can't explain this kind of world to somebody. You can't act it that kind of rage, and unless you understand something about that. And it doesn't have to be from mafia, but just something about that personally, about where that sits within yourself. So it was a challenge to find these young women, but I look at them now, and those are the girls I wrote. It's pretty amazing.
And as your first time director, your first feature, I love to ask directors, what was the first shot on your first day, and what was the last shot on your last day of the shoot?
I can tell you perfectly, because it was Emily in the big poofy pink dress, and she was lying in bed and we just shot her from the door, and she was just lying in this very pastel greenish room with this pink poof, and she was just looking, and I was saying to her, just, it's like you're in the coffin, you're dead. And she was just laying there, and I remember that was the first shot, and I remember I had to yell action, and the first AD is like, action, and I froze. I thought, oh my God, what did I do? Because I don't know if you know this, but I mortgaged my house to make this film.
Oh.
Like I am one of the biggest investors in this film, and but it was more than that. It was like I was fighting so hard to get this made, and then I was finally there, and you stop and you go, holy shit, can I do this? And it was like, oh my God. And I looked at that shot, and it's what I had always been envisioning. And I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can do this. And the last, we were supposed to be on the Verrazano Bridge shooting a scene that we didn't get to do because the Verrazano Bridge closed that day due to a
Oh.
storm. So yeah, so the last was Emily in the car somewhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And finally today, you took this around the film festival circuit. How was that experience? You had a lot of success?
Amazing. We won audience award, best from the audience at the Hamptons Film Festival. We won artistic director award at San Diego. We won best film in Annapolis. We were so welcomed in the circuit, and the people, it's the people that really go behind the mafia-ness of it all and see what I'm trying to say, and it really hits audiences. And honestly, that's why I got into the business. It was to, you know, connect to people through art, and that's what I've been able to do.
Well, Jennifer, congratulations on an amazing film, and I appreciate your time today. And come visit us in Las Vegas soon. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.